All right, what's up, everybody? You're listening to the Kayfabe Crusaders. This is your man, J Dub. We'll be discussing all things Raw and all things Stone Cold Steve Austin Triple H podcast.
Better believe it.
That's right. So why don't you stick around on this YouTube, give us a few comments, a few likes, and a few subscribes, and enjoy the show.
Thank you for joining us, Kayfabe Crusaders,
What's
episode
up, everybody?
2.
What's up? Numero dos.
Look at this. It's like we're almost pros at this.
Oh, no. Yeah. Almost, man. I was born a pro. Look at this place, man. It looks like King of the Ring in here.
That's how we do it, man. We got some Stone Cold. We got where's the Bret Hart flag? We got the Bret Hart flag right here.
Yeah, I'm talking about this throne I'm sitting in, man. This is like fit for royalty.
Dude, all the money we made on the first episode, that's what it went to. It went towards furnishing.
Mine just went up my nose, man.
That's how we do it, man. You got the sinus infections.
Sinus medication that's
how we do it,
bro.
Yeah. Stay off dope, kids. You don't want to be like Anderson Silva and Diaz there. All the problems that you get in the UFC.
Not even it. What about Jones, man? He's got the
Koki McGee over there.
But that's probably just hanging out in Brazil like one time and had a good night, you know.
Vitor Belfort kind of showed him the ropes.
Yeah, man.
But we're not talking about the UFC with the millions of dopamine problems that they have.
Yeah, that's right.
We're talking about the wellness policy in the WWE.
That's right. They got there's no HGH or anything in WWE, right?
Well, I mean, if you look at Ryback, maybe, but
no, he just eats his vegetables and his spinach and.
Is that what it is? I need to get some of those vegetables.
You don't eat vegetables, do you?
Dude, the green things? I have green in my hair.
Oh, that's it. That's all you need.
All right. Well, we got a really good response from the first episode, so we're going to take another stab at it, see if we can improve.
Stab in the dark.
That's how we do it. So, after the snow-in from last week.
Snow Day.
The
Al
Snow episode.
Yes.
Al Snow was on,
Al Snow episode?
I think it was on either Steve Austin or Chris Jericho's podcast this week.
Really?
Yeah, I need to give it a listen. I'm almost certain it's Steve Austin. I haven't listened to it yet, but he talks about his wrestling school and stuff like that. Yeah. See, we brought that. We made him topical again.
That's true.
See, we're making moves for the wrestling fans.
Sending out the vibes, man. Sending out the vibes.
That's how we do it on the West Coast with these West Coast heels.
That's right. Well, what do you got for me, Alonzo? What's going down?
So we had an episode of Monday Night Raw, which I enjoyed. I thought it was a good episode for the most part. And then we had that nice little podcast with Trips McGee and the Rattlesnake.
That's right.
Yeah.
The Rattlesnake looks a little crazy when he asks those questions sometimes. He looks right in your face.
He looks in your soul.
He's a straight shooter. What can you say?
I mean, he got that Jake the Snake, King of the Ring look still with him.
That's right.
Austin 316, man.
That means I just whooped your ass.
So they started off Raw with the big announcement that they teased on SmackDown, which it was interesting. They had.
I mean, was that the real announcement, or was they?
That's the real announcement they were going for on SmackDown. They kind of teased it.
Yeah.
You know, I guess they're really trying to break the barriers of kayfabe. And Austin, that was the first thing he said. Yeah. Kayfabe's dead.
Yeah.
There's too many smart marks starting their own podcasts over here.
It cut me deep, but it's also like, wait, that's me.
Yeah, we're in that demographic. But it's nice because like it is the reality era. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the storylines are kind of, intertwining with everything that's going on in the internet community.
Yeah.
Which is, it's interesting. It's an interesting time.
I just love Triple H, like, doing his little digs at the smart marks.
Oh, he's totally trolling. It's
what was
awesome.
his on this Raw? This one, he had something. I forgot what it was.
He had a couple one-liners. What did he say? He said, with everybody, I don't know. I don't remember what he said. It was nice, though.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, but with the announcement after everything going on with Roman Reigns, talking about the controversy that's going on, and they kind of brought it back in the wrestling world of like The Rock interfered, and that's the controversy.
Yeah.
But they set up the match with Daniel Bryan and Seth Rollins.
That's right.
Winner gets Roman Reigns at Fastlane, and the winner of that goes on to WrestleMania. And we'll talk more about that as we go linear through Raw, but it's a dangerous road that they're going on.
Yeah, it's very dangerous. There's really only one way they can do it, and I don't think they're going about it the right way. But anyway, we can talk about
we'll
that
get to
in
that.
a little bit.
So after the big announcement, they started off with Roman Reigns versus the Big Show, which is the equivalent of the Usos versus Star and Goldust.
God.
Like we see this match weekend.
We know. Another monster versus the good guy, whatever.
The only thing that I really did like about this was that they had Big Show win.
Yeah.
Like that was nice. Like they're kind of putting it of that Roman Reigns needs to earn stuff.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. They're like, okay, if the fans want him to earn it, we'll make him earn it.
Yeah.
You know?
And it seems like they've been preparing Roman for Brock Lesnar by having him go against a big guy.
Dudes, yeah.
Like
because they want to make it believable if it happens where he does win. Then they don't want him to. They don't want a repeat of the Rumble. Let's just say that.
I mean, and that's what it almost seems like they're panicking, but I don't think they're panicking. Like they know what they're gonna do.
They're not panicking. They have plenty of time.
Yeah, it's just over 50 days.
Oh wow.
Yeah, not as much time as you thought, huh?
No, maybe not. How many Raws is that? 5?
They should have what, 6 or 7 Raws? 7 Raws.
7.
Yeah, and we'll be judging from ringside almost.
That's right, dude. I can't wait. The countdown.
Road to WrestleMania goes through Fastlane. Last week, I made the statement that Fastlane is going to be kind of a throwaway pay-per-view.
Yeah, I did too, just based on the name, man. Maybe I jumped the gun on that.
Yeah, we jumped the shark in our first episode. Fonzie.
Well, we might as well get it over with, dude.
Yeah.
We're going to jump the shark. Let's do it. First episode, and then just coast.
Yeah, that's how we do it. We rest on our laurels.
That's right.
But it looks like they're building a lot of cool stuff for Fastlane just based on this one Raw. Like, it has potential. And that kind of rolled into the next segment, which was Curtis Axel coming out.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I think he looked pissed off, and I thought that was pretty cool, and he was just, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was the first time I enjoyed Curtis Axel in a while, you know?
And you know why?
Why is that?
Because he spent the past month at NXT.
Oh.
That's all. Just 1 month.
With Dusty Rhodes?
Yeah, with Dusty Rhodes, baby.
Oh,
like, let me work on your promo with Thun. I mean,
let me tell you, your promos ain't perfect, baby.
now your daddy's promo. That's all we needed.
They was perfect.
But 1 month at NXT is all he needed. He came out. He had that fire.
He did.
And it made sense, which
Everything
not all
made
promos
sense.
did.
Oh, that's the worst. Like Ultimate Warrior promos. I mean, they became their own thing, but
yeah.
When a promo starts to sound like an Ultimate Warrior promo, you're like, oh no.
All right, Psycho Sid.
No. Yeah. Oh, the greatest worst promo of all time.
Him and Scott Steiner. They're both up there.
But Scott Steiner, like, I don't know. He was a little bit more on a path rather than Psycho Sid. Psycho Sid could barely talk, let alone like speak in front of thousands of people.
We need to do that segment of like promo of the week.
Oh.
And we can either do like a great promo like Punk's Pipe Bomb, or we can do a horrible promo and just pull from the.
All right, next week, get ready for the promo of the week, baby.
If you guys have any suggestions of promos that you love, either because they're awesome or because they're horrible, make a comment. Let us know. We'll,
personally, I love the horrible ones.
Those are a little more fun. I like the horrible ones. But Curtis Axel's good promo was interrupted by Dizzy Dean Ambrose.
Oh man, the slurring, drunken New York cop that he is.
I love the fact that he had himself a nice leather members only jacket.
He's got a new jacket every time he comes out.
Yeah, that's what he blows his money on. He doesn't get any like shirts because he's always wearing that tank top.
Right.
But he gets those nice little jackets.
Oh, nice.
He came out and he called out Bad News Barrett for the IC belt, which I love because last week we were talking about how
it on the ground or whatever.
Yeah, like the Intercontinental belt, even the U.S. title hasn't been meaning much anymore. You put it on a star like Dean Ambrose, who's hotter than almost everybody.
Right.
Instantly, that title has credibility.
I think it's kind of a switch, you know. I mean, Bad News Barrett, I like watching him and everything, but Dean Ambrose is like up on another level right now with the fans. So giving him the title, it would give that title a lot more clout and a lot more airtime because that's what it needs is airtime.
Yeah, and I think that it would be smart for them to have it where Bad News Barrett goes over Ambrose at Fastlane, either by cheating or whatever, make it a heel victory, and then Ambrose overtakes him at Mania, and that's where he wins the belt. And then the next month they'll have the rematch, and Ambrose just keeps it, and that'll be the 3-month program, and that'll be kind of the path for Barrett and Ambrose.
For some reason, I see that they're just gonna give it to him
right away.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I would rather have the longer build, but
then you also got to think about, like, inevitably, as we're going to get to, we're probably going to get a new, world heavyweight champion.
Right.
So do you want 2 significant title changes? Yeah. Because then you also have, Rusev and Cena.
Also, who's gonna, if he beats Barrett at Fastlane, who's he gonna wrestle at Mania?
I mean, it would be a rematch.
Yeah. But then why you want to see him win twice? You know what I mean? He's not gonna lose.
It's not as big of a moment. Yeah.
Oh, what if he loses at Mania? I mean, personally, that'd be pretty cool. I think that.
Okay, yeah.
But I mean, that's not gonna happen.
So after that awesome moment, we had the Ascension versus Golden Stardust.
Oh.
So, I mean, with this match, it was totally something that I could have watched on a Saturday morning Superstars in 1992.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was very campy, very cartoony.
Very character-driven.
Yeah, like, and I know USA characters are welcome, but in the universe, on the network, it's a little too kiddie.
Maybe if only one of them were based more on characters rather than both the teams,
Yeah, that's exactly it.
I think the bottom line is we just don't like Stardust.
Yeah.
I think it goes down to that. Because, I mean, Ascension, like, their characters aren't terrible, but they're just, they're generic bad guy tag team.
Yeah, and it's not a good start for something so promising.
Both heels, kind of?
Yeah, they're both heels.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Like, I don't know. Their booking on that's not making a lot of sense, but really the real story on that is the Goldust Stardust split, because now Cody's kind of making it to where they're losing matches because of him, and they're starting to bicker, and I think that's going to be finally the WrestleMania match that we're going to get between the two of them. They've teased it for over a year. Like, they're talking that was going to be the match last year.
Yeah, right. And I mean, it's about time, man. I'm tired of that tag team. Split them up.
Yeah.
And they're both great wrestlers, and they should be.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, I love one-on-one matches with them. I'm tired of them in the tag team.
Yeah, Cody can totally get that IC belt, get in the runnings for that. Is he going to be the world heavyweight champion? Probably not. He has great talent, but he's not. He doesn't seem like that type of guy. Which is it's funny because then that's the argument against Daniel Bryan. But the difference is Daniel Bryan has the crowd totally behind him. Cody's not as charismatic.
Right, but hey.
But he puts on great matches.
I would love it if he proved us wrong. That's when the best are born.
Exactly.
When they prove you wrong. So
yeah, shut our mouth, man, and make us eat some.
First of all, quit with the Stardust stuff, and then
go back to Cody Rhodes.
Hey, man, I'm not saying get the mustache, but you could get the mustache.
The dashing Cody Rhodes. That would be good, too. And then they came out with another little promo segment with Cena welcoming back Ziggler and Rowan and Ryback. I mean, it's a little weird. Whenever Cena comes out,
people, man.
Yeah, it's 4 guys that you wouldn't imagine are going out to the bar and having a drink.
And 2 of them, I think, are naturally heels. I think Ryback should be a heel, and I think Rowan should be a heel.
Yeah.
Just because they look scary and like they should be just destroying people. I don't think they should be shaking hands with John Cena.
Yeah. The promos. It's sounding more and more like John Cena is seeing the end of the road. It's the realization, you're not going to be wrestling for another 10 years, it's going to come to an end soon enough. And the storyline for the past few months is that he is the past and all that. But it's really interesting dynamic that he has with Rusev, where he's going to be going for the U.S. title, which I like. I like the fact that it's going to make the U.S. title mean more because John Cena's going for it, so it's not a throwaway belt anymore.
Right.
But I think
I don't think he's going to win it. They're not.
I don't think so either.
That'd be kind of a joke if they put it on him.
Yeah, I mean, remember back when he was feuding with Bray Wyatt, and everyone and WrestleMania, that was the match, and everyone's like, okay, this is the moment for Bray Wyatt to go over on Cena and all this, and he didn't.
Right.
Cena still went over on the up and comer.
Right.
I hope they don't do that again with Rusev.
I don't see that they could. I don't see it because, I mean, it kind of did knock Bray Wyatt down a few pegs after he lost.
He had a really bad track record at pay-per-views.
I remember listening to some podcasts. They were saying that it didn't affect either. You know, it didn't affect Bray losing. But I disagree. He had such a huge following.
Oh yeah.
He had such a big. He was white hot, and there's all these people. I mean, the phones alone, and it's such a big difference now watching him on Raw. He's actually getting real heat. He's getting boos, which is awesome.
Yeah, and that all stems from him interfering in that Hell in a Cell match with Ambrose and Rollins.
Right.
Which was great.
Right.
A little weird with the whole hologram thing, and it's like it was going to be at Coachella or something with the hologram on stage.
Man.
But I mean, the idea behind it is great, and that got him real heat.
Which is where we want him.
Yeah.
He should be a heel like that. And well, we'll get to his promo thing later, I suppose.
Yeah, and also with that, I mean, Dolph had like an interaction with Stephanie, and I like when Dolph gets that mic time.
Yeah.
Like it's baffling to me that he doesn't get more.
Do you think he takes it and just he's like, I'm taking some of this mic time?
Oh.
Part of me thinks he just butts in and then because Stephanie's good enough to have a comeback. She's quick enough.
And I instantly thought of the Chris Jericho Stephanie dynamic.
Oh.
And I would love for Dolph Ziggler to kind of step in that role of just having those quips with her because he's a funny dude.
Yeah.
And like you said, Stephanie can roll with stuff.
Oh, she's great.
She's quick with that.
She's great.
And that would make great television, and that would boost Dolph's star power even higher.
Yeah, because there's no one you hate more in WWE than a McMahon.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, they're just great at being these people you get disgusted by, but you can't help but watch, you know? And if Dolph is on the other side of that, being a smartass, it's going to be TV gold. I mean, you're not going to change the channel.
Everybody already loves his in-ring work.
Yeah, that's done. That's done. He doesn't even need to... He needs something else, a little bit more TV time, not wrestling, because he gets TV time wrestling, and everyone always loves his matches. But if he has like a little side story gimmick thing where he's like, I don't know, pissing off people. Pissing off Stephanie in particular.
Yeah, he just needs to be a little bit more personable with people. Like people can connect with his character, not just his matches.
Right.
Which is kind of something like how they talk about Cesaro. Like he has all these great matches,
but his character's lacking. Something.
Yeah,
something that we can hang our hats on, or we're like, oh, this is why I like him.
Exactly.
You know? And do you know it'd be awesome? I was just thinking if Dolph would like get in this thing with Stephanie where he's like, causing all these problems for Dolph Triple H match, bro.
Oh, that would be good. That'd be reminiscent, and then Triple H can cut these great promos of like when I first knew you, you were this male cheerleader, and I beat your ass then. And it would be great. And they could go back to those old clips with the Spirit Squad.
And DX.
Oh yeah.
Oh, rematch.
There it is.
Oh.
So after that, Stephanie announced 3 matches for the night. And on paper, I loved all 3 matches she announced. She announced the Ryback versus Harper, which was great.
Great match.
Then she announced the Ziggler and Bray Wyatt, which, oh my God.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. And then she announced Rusev and Rowan. So let's get with the first one, the Ryback and Harper match. I thought these guys had great chemistry.
Ryback and Harper,
it was
awesome.
It was the best Ryback match I've seen in a while.
Yeah, and he was in control most of the time.
Oh yeah,
and it was like it was very brutal, a lot of hard slams, but a hell of a lot of agility. Like all of a sudden, kicks out of nowhere, drop kicks, clotheslines. They came out of nowhere. The camera couldn't even catch.
Oh yeah, Harper for the size that he has. I mean, he can get up with the drop kicks.
Oh yeah,
with the side kicks that he does. Like
I think he's been one of my, if not one of my favorite in-ring performers since I started watching him.
Yeah, he's been.
I'm like, oh, there's something different about that guy. He's big, but he's so explosive. He was always my favorite.
He's not the typical big guy.
Right. He was still my favorite to watch in the Wyatts versus the Shield. Oh man, like Bray, great character and everything, but seeing Roman Reigns and Harper or something go out.
Yeah, the workhorses. Yeah. I've been watching the 100 Greatest Matches on the network, and it was in like the 40s or something. I'm going 100 down to 1.
Oh man!
And in the 40s was that Elimination Chamber match.
Remember how crazy stoked I was on
that? Yeah,
that?
We watched that together, and when just the moment of them standing in the ring.
Yeah.
Like, the tension was there. It had the booking, like, it was just
brought me back to
incredible.
being a kid again.
Oh, yeah. You were
Kid
excited
wrestling, yeah.
to see them lock up.
Yeah.
And it was just two great factions, 6 wrestlers who were all, like,
just legit.
They were so good.
You know.
And with this match, I mean, there were some great moments. Like, I liked when Ryback had Harper in that suspended vertical suplex.
Yes, although he was getting a little overzealous, and part of it looked like, oh, Harper's going to break his neck.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to bend by the neck and just, feed,
Yeah, I think
wanted him to feed him more.
One of the themes to this Raw was that there's a few matches which had a slow start, but built up to a fantastic ending.
Do you think that one had a slow start?
I think this one had a little bit of a slow start, but it caught the chemistry quickly. Like once they got it, then they're matched up the whole way.
Well, in my opinion, it doesn't really matter if a match has a slow start, because if it starts slow but it builds up, then
you're right.
That's the point. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
You take them on that journey. Watching these two guys, it really reminded me, like, when I see the two of them locked up, does it look like Popeye versus Bluto to you?
Oh, totally.
Like it's just like they're fighting over olive oil, which I guess would be what, Summer Rae would be the closest thing to olive oil.
Yeah, probably. Popeye and Bluto.
And Harper's sidewalk slam on
that's
Ryback.
One of my favorite moves. He busts that out. I love
and it just looks so violent against
There's
Ryback.
Some whiplash. How do you pick that dude up and slam him like that?
It was so good. And
that's a great highlight.
Yeah, and Ryback winning, I mean, that's fine. This is the type of match where
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Both guys looked great. There's a few matches which were like that. Jimmy Uso versus Cesaro in singles competition.
Right. I think I'm not a big fan of the Usos, but seeing an Uso go 1-on-1.
It's a different dynamic, and it's nice because they have in-ring skill. Like they know what they're doing. It's kind of like the John Cena character in a tag team form.
It's like, oh, you're tired of a character, but they still do work.
Yeah, I mean, no one ever criticizes like their matches.
Right.
They always have really good matches, and this one with Jimmy and Cesaro was great. Like Cesaro, really old school in this match. Like he hit that half crab.
Oh, yeah. Half crab. It's like, when the last time you saw that?
Yeah, and he did it out of the Cesaro swing.
Perfect.
And just going right into the half crab. And he locked it in with his forearm. It was great.
Do you still think that's a babyface move, the swing?
I mean, it is, but like you noticed it when we watched. Like, it didn't get as much of a pop.
No, it kind of got a boo.
Yeah, it really depends on how you use it. Like, when I was watching the stuff on the network with the matches, I saw it was Rey Mysterio versus, I want to say, Dean Malenko. Or no, maybe it was Juventud Guerrera. I think it was Juventud Guerrera in WCW. And Juventud did the swing on Ray.
Oh, nice.
And I'm like, it's even with little guys, it's super impressive.
Yeah. I think it depends on how you do it. Like if you don't do it as confident and you're just like doing it like mean, like you're just dragging him, like, and you just let go of him rather than like, I don't know, ease them out of it or something. I think it could still.
You do it with disdain.
Yeah, you got to do it with like disgust kind of.
I mean, there's also that moment where Tyson Kidd kind of was about to get into the ring and the ref caught him. I think we have kind of mixed feelings on that.
I don't know, like there was a lot of dead air where it's like, okay, hit him now, kick him now.
Yeah.
And you expect Tyson to go over and start stomping on him, but he doesn't. And then it was kind of sloppy where okay, now the ref sees him, but they're both on the same side, and Cesaro hits Uso with the announce table or whatever. He slams his head in the announce table. It's like, wait, you're on the same side as the ref? That to me, that's like, okay, what's the point of pretending like the ref is distracted then?
Yeah. And then, there was also that really cool double foot stomp from Cesaro.
Oh, that was good.
I mean, that's really starting to become a resurgence of that move. They do it a lot in NXT with Finn Balor.
We saw it, I think, last week as well. Or maybe it was out on Royal Rumble. Maybe I
think it was Rumble, yeah. I mean, it's a cool move. It always looks like...
painful.
Yeah, and the person giving it it always ends up falling. Like, how can you like really brace yourself? It
Right.
seems like there's a high level of like where you could injure yourself with that move. The finish to that match, it caught me by surprise, and I like that. Like, it looked like Tyson was going to interfere, and then Jey Uso cranks him down, and then, okay, cool, that's where the Usos will kind of overcome that. But no, Cesaro still hits him with the best European uppercut in the business.
That's right.
And just knocks him out. Yeah, it was great.
Snap.
Like, the cameraman, I think it was a good job by the cameraman.
To just barely get there.
Yeah, like, you're looking at Jimmy, and you don't even see Cesaro in the cut. And then it just comes to the uppercut.
Right.
And if you're watching on TV, it's total surprise.
Right.
And I think that was really cool.
And that's priceless, getting that surprise. Like,
oh, yeah.
You're like, ooh.
And then we had The Miz and Mizdow with the backstage promo.
Oh.
Like,
I thought it was a great promo.
Oh, I did too. I think The Miz brought up really good points of, the Mizdow was nowhere. He was going nowhere before The Miz. We were kind of talking about that last week of just like all the little gimmicky things that he was doing.
Right.
And I love it because it's bringing more heat on The Miz.
But it's true.
And it's all true stuff.
Yeah.
And it's going to make Mizdow look even better once they lock up and they go at it.
I can't wait to have that split. I mean, I will wait because it'll be just better.
Oh yeah, they've been doing a nice long burn with this one. Like,
he's gonna be such a white meat babyface.
It's gonna be great. Like,
he'll do no wrong. The crowd will be behind him so hard in that match.
Yeah, and then you're gonna have another guy that's gonna be seriously in contention for the United States belt, Intercontinental belt, and he'll have momentum back.
Right.
It's just going to be really interesting to see, like, after the initial pop of now he's on his own, awesome.
That's going to be the trouble.
Then what do you do with the character?
Yeah, because he doesn't have quite as much like support as, let's say, Dean Ambrose does if he becomes Intercontinental champ, right? So he can't go against Dean Ambrose because he's turned to a babyface, right?
Right.
So that'd be kind of a weird matchup, and nobody's going to be taking the U.S. title against Rusev for a long time.
For a while.
No one's going to be taking it from him. They built way too much.
Yeah, and that's why I think, like, going back with the whole thing with John Cena, I really don't want Cena to win, but who is going to win? Because eventually he is going to fall. And who's going to be the one to do it? Because it has to be someone who's
Cena going to lose to him and then beat him. But then I don't think they would hand over the belt. I'm hoping maybe, like, this is kind of wishful thinking, like Cena loses and takes a break for a while maybe. But that dude's worth too much money to do that. But I thought, like, if it was anyone else, probably is what would happen.
Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to have John Cena get himself a partner and take a run with the tag team division. Because I think that, like, the tag team division's hurting for big stars, and I think it would be a nice different dynamic to have John Cena going for the tag titles like they did with DX a couple years back, where they weren't necessarily the main event guys, but they were going for the tag team belts. And
who would you pair with him?
I don't know. Like, instantly, I would do Roman Reigns. I think Cena and Roman Reigns would be a fun tag team that people can love to hate. Yeah, that ship has sailed. I mean, but if they wanted to, even when Randy Orton comes back, that'd be interesting. Because I actually wanted Orton and Batista to be a tag team.
Mania
yeah, I thought that would have been interesting too. Just the tag team division always can use something cool. And you bring in a big star like that, and it really changes things. So the next thing that came up, which I think match of the night, Ziggler and Wyatt.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah, so let's take a quick break, because that we have a lot to cover, because that was a stellar
what do
match.
we have? We'll have Ziggler versus Wyatt after the break, as well as we will have
some Divas competition.
And Miz versus Sin Cara. And what else will we have?
We got the Bray Wyatt promo.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
Rusev versus Rowan, and then the main event.
Ooh, which I thought was match of the night.
But, there we go. See, we can do a little contrast compare.
Let's.
Yeah, well, we'll be right back with the Kayfabe Crusaders.
All right, you're listening to the Kayfabe Crusaders. Why don't you give us a few likes on the YouTube, a few follows, a few comments. We'll be discussing things All Pro Wrestling, baby.
And we're back!
Right.
All right, so Ziggler and Wyatt.
Your match of the night.
This was my match of the night. I thought this was great. I mean, as soon as Stephanie announced this match, I was like a kid in a candy store. I'm like, this is the kind of competition I want to see. Strong Bray Wyatt against a salesman like Dolph Ziggler. Like, I think it's a matchup that I can watch over and over again.
I mean, as soon as Stephanie says anything, I'm in. So.
Oh, yeah.
You know me, man.
I think that they told a story really well in the ring of just, like, it made Bray look very, very strong.
Right.
And not like, make Roman look strong kind of thing that they've been saying.
No.
But he looked really good, and it made Ziggler look like the sympathetic hero.
It was classic. It was classic hero versus monster.
Yeah, and then every single time that Dolph would start to get momentum,
it was the perfect.
Bray would kill it, and he would just go back and
just do one big slam or this or that,
or even get out of the ring.
Yeah, classic, just heel stuff.
Yeah, and then there's one of those things where he got out of the ring, and Ziggler kind of leans in for him. He clocks him, and he does that suplex.
Oh yeah.
Onto the outside, which it's like such a unique spot. Like, it's nothing much that's different than a regular suplex to the outside, but it looks a lot better.
Yeah, because he's kind of dragging him out of the ring.
Yeah.
While he's above his head, you know what I mean? Like, it just that suplex really just reminded me of 1995 Raw or something like that. It's like, oh man, they're outside.
Oh yeah, and then
they're not going to the barricade or using the announce table. They're just using the concrete on the ground.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the old school, they would pull up the mat. Oh, that was the best.
That's even, yeah.
That for some reason I always remember it would be like Razor Ramon.
Oh,
and he'd pull off and he'd go he was going to do the Razor's Edge.
Yeah.
And Shawn Michaels would just backdrop him.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a classic wrestling spot.
Yeah.
And then I think there's that other spot where Bray does that running forearm body splash.
Oh, that's his best move.
Oh,
man. That is his
and
best
Dolph
move.
was made to take that.
Oh yeah.
He just bumps around and
turns. He's when he takes bumps. It's so funny when he takes bumps that big ones that are supposed to be his opponent's signature moves. He turns kind of half limp, but his legs still work, but his upper body is dragging.
Oh yeah, and it's like you're carrying dead weight.
Yeah.
And he also he sold the collarbone.
Oh, the whole match.
The whole match.
They mentioned it, or maybe they mentioned it after he was selling it.
But Booker T mentioned it, and he
stayed with it, even when he was going for his the famous. I think the first time he went for it, he was even reaching his collarbone while he was doing
it. And that was another thing. Booker mentioned it. If you notice, compared to the other matches, with this match, they were calling the match, and they weren't talking much storyline of other things going on. Which I think
feel like this whole Raw was kind of like that.
Yeah, they did that with the high profile matches.
Right.
This one, the Daniel Bryan, Seth Rollins, the Uso, Cesaro, they called the match, and it made the matches better.
Right.
I don't know if it was something that's a conscious decision of, hey, let's focus more on this.
Or the matches were just so good that
you couldn't ignore it.
Right.
But it was a welcome change because the commentary gets a lot of flack, which it's, I think, deserving most of the time because they're talking way too much story.
They're repeating it. I mean, certain base gods are known to watch it on mute or something like that.
I do not mind watching on mute for some things. But, I mean, with this match, it helped. It told the story. I like Booker T on Monday Night Raw. I think he brings a cool dynamic. But, with the King moving to Thursdays, I love the King, but I don't miss him on Raw.
Yeah, I didn't notice till 90%, through. So, I mean, I hate to say that about the King because he's the King, and
King of Memphis, Tennessee.
King of Memphis, Tennessee, Wrestling Tennessee. But no, I love him. But Booker T, he's good too.
He's coming for you.
That's right.
There was, the famouser that you were talking about. I think it was the second. It was either the first or the second time around, and Bray just comes with that clothesline from hell. That must have just made the hair stand up on JBL's neck.
Oh, I know. He's like, oh, snap.
Yeah.
Was that when he hit the Famouser?
No.
No.
No. That was before because he hit it at the end, and that was a really cool finish with the Famouser, and then he kind of like pops up.
Yeah.
It was different, and he hits the sister Abigail.
But I don't like that, man.
Yeah.
Because it's wasting a move. Not even for Ziggler. What about if Billy Gunn? You know what I mean?
Well, Billy Gunn, I think he might have had a little bigger legs. I think that's
true.
where you can do that.
That's true.
And then I mean that call
the
that
ass man, right?
that call that Booker did, the 2 and 99%.
Oh, that deserves its own podcast. that little thing.
Yeah.
It means it was close.
That's a great call. 2 and 99%. You'll be hearing much more of that. I think
2 and 99%. Oh, we gotta work that into the show every day.
Yeah, this is a great match where both guys came out of it looking really good, and they gave him over 15 minutes, which is awesome for a TV TV spot. They gave him time to work with, you know. After that was the palate cleanser, the Divas match.
Divas match.
You had the Bellas, Brie and Nikki on commentary.
And that's probably the worst.
I mean, it's not like having Ariane, the former Funkadactyl. She was the worst on commentary.
Yeah,
that made me want to just puncture my eardrums.
Right.
But I mean, what I don't like is that during the match they cut to the Divas on commentary. Like, you're on commentary. You don't need to be seen.
There's no way that the Divas division is going to get some clout while you do that.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to... It's like, oh, you're just turning into a soap opera to talk about the E! Channel's show.
Exactly. Too much cross-promotion.
That's too much business, man.
Yeah,
I don't care if it's good for business. God, that's
But I will
too
tell you
much.
what was good for business. The classy dressing of Nikki Bella.
Oh, yeah.
She looked good.
That was best for business.
Yeah, that was the highlight of that whole segment.
Yeah,
the match was kind of whatever. I mean, Paige, she got color twice. She got her little bit of a lip bleeding going there, and then they did the NWO spray paint on her midsection to give her a little. I mean, it was kind of risky because they used black spray paint, with Alicia Fox in the ring. You don't gotta go that far.
Yeah, come on.
But they gave her a little color on that. Kind of whatever. It's building towards the Fastlane match, but I really don't care. It doesn't have the chemistry there.
And I like Paige, man.
Yeah,
I like Paige.
And I think that Nikki's been doing much better in the ring.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't have me hooked. It's too total divas right now.
Well, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't help when they keep going back and forth to the commentary.
So after that, they brought out Miz versus Sin Cara.
Oh.
Sin Cara 2, as I like to call him.
Dos.
With Hunico underneath the mask.
Yeah. What do you mean?
But it wasn't a great match. It was.
Well, there's only one reason for it to happen. It wasn't there for a match. You know
exactly.
what I mean?
It was connecting the dots with the feud for
pushing it forward a little bit.
Exactly. And
my main man,
the Mizdow.
The Mizdow.
I mean, I think that it could have even been a little bit shorter. And it still would have gotten the same point across, but it was what it was.
It wasn't too long, so.
Yeah. And then after that was a short and sweet promo by Bray Wyatt.
Oh, and what is your prediction? Who is that aimed for?
So he was talking about they used to fear you, and now they love you. And that, to me, that's teasing the Undertaker.
That's one. Hey,
Undertaker Wyatt WrestleMania. That's
maybe Taker decided,
he's coming.
I'm coming for you.
Yeah, like
I would
Booker
love
T.
that. I would love that because, well, what do you? It's hard for me to be like.
Because how would you book that?
Yeah, who's going over?
Exactly.
Don't tell me Taker's just gonna lose a Mania again.
Yeah, 2 in a row.
That. No way.
That would be crazy. 2 in a row.
Maybe. What about Sting?
Well, Sting and Triple H.
Is that for sure?
That's where that's heading. They're really pushing that.
For Mania.
Yeah. But I think that Wyatt.
It could also be, who knows, they might not even have Taker in a deal. They might have just thrown that out there and be like, oh, even if he doesn't come to Mania, that could just be a throwaway weird Wyatt promo.
Yeah, I like.
Think so?
I like to think that.
Yeah, you're being hopeful.
I'm being very hopeful. I like to think that nothing that Bray Wyatt does is throwaway.
Yeah, no, not throwaway as in like it's garbage, but throwaway as in, yeah, he did it, and that's putting him out there, but. Yeah, it may not lead to something else. We're hoping it will lead to Taker.
I think the way that I would book it, if it is going to be Taker, is I would have Taker appear at Fastlane unannounced, not like The Rock at the Rumble where it's all
Or
leaked
Instagram.
and everything. Yeah, it's
Here in Philly.
Yeah, you do it for real, where you don't know he's going to be there. He shows up, and then that's the lead up. Because Fastlane is looking like it's going to be a pay-per-view of just foreshadowing and getting all the stories lined up for WrestleMania.
Right.
And I think
it's not like Wyatt's going to go against Ziggler at Mania. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just had a great match, but I don't think it's going to be leading to like a feud.
Yeah, I agree. The feud right now, going on to the next one, is John Cena and Rusev. And then you had Rowan come out kind of defending John Cena's honor since John Cena got his job back for him. Match never starts. It was just a glorified squash. Rusev just attacks him, beats the crap out of him.
What was the best part of that section right there?
Lana. Always Lana.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The ravishing Russian.
With a close second of when they do the spot of the flag coming down with the fireworks.
Yeah.
Flag got stuck.
Oh.
And Rusev and Lana just pros. Just instantly got mad. Rusev grabs the flag and just violently waves it, the handheld one. And I think he covered that well.
Yeah. Live TV.
Live TV, that's what you do. And then we had our main event, which was your match of the night.
Yeah, definitely.
Daniel Bryan and Seth Rollins.
I just think it was just the story, back and forth. It was like the opposite. It was kind of like a mirror image of your match of the night. Yours had the monster in control the whole time. It had Bray Wyatt, and Ziggler was taking a beating the whole time, right? Mm-hmm. And he would, get a little bit of momentum and then get squashed. But this one was the opposite. It had Daniel Bryan winning the whole time, and then the heel would, just cut in the nick of time, have his stooges, help him out.
Exactly.
So it was kind of, it was the same idea, but it just flipped.
Flip the roles?
Yeah, I just think, it's a very, very close, but I just think those two, they just have, it was just constant motion.
Well, with those two guys,
especially with those two, the size of those two guys.
Oh, they can go.
Yeah, they just go the whole time, and they're just in great shape. And it's like, and it started out with wrestling. You know what I mean? It started out with some holds and like.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan was working Seth's arm
the whole time.
Yeah, and that's kind of like how Rusev was going after Ziggler's collarbone.
You mean Bray?
I'm sorry, Bray. And that's kind of like the old school mentality of. Work a body part,
right?
And that's what you're focusing on the match.
That's why I think they both. Both of these matches could be match of the night. It just happens they're on the same night.
Yeah. So, they both were stellar.
Yeah, and they had the same foundation.
Mm-hmm.
So
and there was that really cool power bomb spot that went into the sunset flip.
Yeah, that was sweet.
Seth had a really cool reversal going into the sunset flip there. And then there was the Daniel Bryan doing the super back suplex.
Oh, and I think it was so solid. With the way they landed, it looked like it hurt, but it looked like it was just textbook.
Perfect.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I didn't think anyone was gonna die from doing that.
Like what I originally thought, the way that Seth was kind of going up there, I thought he was gonna do his CrossFit moonsault flip where he lands on his feet.
Cross flip.
Yeah, his cross flip. Let's call it that. The cross flip. Yeah. See, now we're coining phrases on the Kayfabe Crusaders. We got the cross flip.
The water for the drinking man?
Yeah,
for the drinking man? Working man?
Well, the working man likes to drink. So I thought he was going to hit that. But nice surprise, they actually went through with the move. And that's kind of the MO of Seth. Like, when he does things, it's picture perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Going to that elbow drop at Royal Rumble.
Right, that was great.
He's just a solid guy.
So, what about the finish to that match, my friend?
I wasn't a huge fan of the way that it finished because it had the Big Show out there.
Oh, we forgot the most important part of that match. Maybe you are right about match of the night because there was that one part where the missed opportunity.
Yeah, and
worst, the biggest missed opportunity of the night, I would say.
I agree, and that's when Daniel Bryan had Seth Rollins in the yes lock.
Right.
And his feet were kind of near the ropes. The Big Show is out there. As a heel, why wouldn't he grab his feet, put it on the ropes?
Old school.
Yeah, and the ref looked at him after Seth did it on his own.
And blamed him anyway.
Yeah,
so
it's
what's
like,
the point?
Why was that missed? And then after that is when Roman Reigns comes out, spears the Big Show.
And you're like, oh, that's why he was out there. But why couldn't it have been both? Right?
Yeah, I mean, you put his foot on the rope, and then that's the reason for Roman Reigns coming out.
Right.
Without that, Roman Reigns coming out and spearing the Big Show, it just makes Roman Reigns look like a heel because
Right.
he had no business there.
Yeah.
There was nothing that the Big Show was doing that was
Right.
interfering in the match.
Not at all.
So
if anything, he was a babyface because he got blamed for something he didn't do.
Exactly.
You know.
And then when the referee's distracted, Roman Reigns does the Superman punch on Seth, another heel kind of tactic.
Yeah.
And the only reason I have a problem with that is because it doesn't look like they're turning Roman Reigns heel. If they were, then that's a different story.
Right.
But I mean, I just think that was a huge missed opportunity. Daniel Bryan wins via interference, which wasn't really caused by the Big Show.
Right.
Which that's what holds it back for me to being match of the night.
What if I thought it would be? I mean, this would be the coolest if Seth Rollins starts tapping, but by the time he hits his hand on the mat, Big Show puts his foot on the leg, so it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh wait, no. Like,
Yeah.
And then Daniel Bryan would be like, oh, he tapped though. He tapped.
Yeah.
That would get so much heat.
See, but like the thing about this match is we're gonna end up seeing this match again down the line. Like there's gonna be pay-per-views with these two guys.
This is money.
Yeah, like it's
and they're the perfect size for each other, where they just go.
Exactly. So with Daniel Bryan beating Seth Rollins, Fastlane is now going to be Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns, going for the chance against Brock Lesnar. So before we tackle that,
oh no,
let's take another quick break.
All right.
And then
let's gather our thoughts.
Let's gather our thoughts, and we'll bookend this with talking about that Fastlane storyline, and then we'll hit some of the main topics from the Triple H Stone Cold podcast.
Sounds great.
All right, and we'll be right back with more Kayfabe Crusaders. Enjoying the show? Well, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, leave any comments that you have. If you have any questions for us, email us at thekayfabecrusaders@gmail.com. All right, so
You collect your thoughts.
collecting my thoughts.
How furious are you right now?
I wouldn't say furious, but I'm anxious.
I'm curious.
Yes.
I'm very curious because how are they going to go about this? Are they trying to make Roman heel?
I mean, it almost seems like we got paparazzi here.
Oh, no.
We got picture takers. We have no privacy in this McMansion.
Oh,
It almost seems like the WWE's kind of painting themselves into a corner almost.
Yeah.
Because they really don't have a lot of wiggle room.
It's a lose. I wouldn't say lose. It's kind of lose.
Because either
It's kind of lose.
Fastlane, you're gonna have
lose-lose.
Roman and Daniel Bryan. So the fans want Daniel Bryan, company wants Roman.
Mm-hmm.
If Daniel Bryan goes over, then it nullifies the Royal Rumble 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
I'm of the belief of, you listen to your audience, but you don't let the audience make all the decisions.
No, because if we made all the decisions, what would we have to talk about?
Yeah.
It would be everything we want.
Yeah. You don't want too much of a good
that.
thing. You
No
don't want
way.
to have chocolate ice cream for breakfast every morning.
Yeah, sometimes I love it when they piss me off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh fuck.
Because they're taking us for the roller coaster, the emotional ride. I mean, if you had the audience have their way, you would have baby faces win every match, and that's boring.
Yeah.
And then you have the future of Roman Reigns. If now, on the flip side of that, if you put Roman over, and now you've just pissed the crowd off more.
Right.
Because you've dangled the carrot in front of their face of, hey, Daniel Bryan can go to WrestleMania, but he's not gonna. And I am of the belief that he's still not gonna win.
I don't think he is.
I think Roman should win, and I think he is gonna win.
And they haven't done any. Even if Daniel Bryan wins, they haven't done any build up with him and
and that would be a waste.
Brock, because all the build up has been Roman and Brock, and those two guys actually look like they can fight each other.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to pick on Daniel Bryan's size, but without any build up or anything, You can't just throw him in the ring with Brock Lesnar and expect people to believe, like, oh, this dude can put up a fight.
You think about SummerSlam from, I guess it was a year and a half ago, when it was Daniel Bryan versus John Cena.
Right.
And you have the power of John Cena, who's been there forever, and the unlikely Daniel Bryan going up against him for the title. What made that match extra special was the great build-up to it.
Right.
So you had the story, and you knew that, hey, this guy's an underdog, but maybe he can pull this out. And you had the time to do that. With this, it would be a 1 month build-up, but with Brock Lesnar not being there every time to help sell it, it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
And so there's been...
not even a Paul Heyman sighting.
Yeah. I mean, that's another thing. Like, you got to get Paul on something. And we talked last week about Paul and Roman.
Yeah. That'd be pretty sweet.
So let's talk a little bit about Fastlane, since that's kind of where this build-up is going. So it looks like they're going to have, John Cena and Rusev, which I think would be a good match. I don't think it's going to steal match of the night, but it'll be solid.
Yeah, you never know, dude, because Cena can go with anybody and make it look good. And I think Rusev has really grown, for sure.
I think that Cena looks better against guys that are quick-paced, though. Like the Daniel Bryan, Seth Rollins,
rather than
Dolph Ziggler.
A bigger dude.
Yeah, like a Brute,
yeah.
I think it'll be a well-told story in the ring.
Nothing spectacular,
Yeah.
technically.
And then, of course, we talked about Bad News Barrett defending the title against Dean Ambrose, which I think would be a cool match.
That would be cool.
Cool styles, and it'll be something different.
But they're both very similar, the anti-hero kind of thing, because people like Bad News Barrett.
Exactly. Which is a different dynamic.
But, I mean, it might give him a chance to get some real heat, maybe.
Yeah. And then we're also looking at the confrontation, not the matchup, but the confrontation between Triple H and Sting, which is going to lead to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
WrestleMania
and
rumors.
I know you had some second thoughts about that being a match, because I remember asking you, I was like texting you, like, hey man, what do you think about that? And you're like, I don't know.
I'm not huge into returning guys or the classics coming back for high profile matches, because most times it doesn't pan out. There's definitely exceptions to the rule when Shawn Michaels came back, but Shawn Michaels is the
all-time greatest performer in the
different.
ring. That's it.
That's a different story, but like Undertaker, he didn't look as great with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania last year. It could have been that he got that concussion early, and that could have done some influence on it.
Also, maybe that's the way he wanted to play it.
Yeah. I wasn't really big into The Rock's return when he came back for the belt. I think that he didn't hang very well with Punk and with Cena. Triple H looked really good at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
that was
awesome.
A great match. I think that
the Triple H
Daniel Bryan. Yeah,
that was match of the night for you, wasn't it?
Oh, that was a great match. Yeah, I love that. And I think that Triple H can still go in the ring.
Oh yeah.
Sting is old now.
Yeah.
If I don't know if you watched anything he did in TNA.
Yeah, I did. The character was really awesome, like the Joker, Sting, and stuff like that. Character was great. The only really wrestling that I watched was him in that match with Jeff Hardy when Jeff Hardy was drunk or whatever, or drugged up, and he's like, and he just walked out.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah. Other matches, I mean, there really wasn't as many memorable moments. But if anybody can get a good match out of him, it's going to be Triple H.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be okay. I'm just not super psyched for it. What I am super psyched for is the rumors going around that there's going to be the confrontation between Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler at WrestleMania. There's been tweets going out right after Royal Rumble. Ziggler tweeted, and if you guys don't follow Ziggler on Twitter, you should.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Funny dude. But he tweeted out at Daniel Bryan, feel bad about what happened at Rumble. I was pulling for you. If you want, we can go at it at WrestleMania 31. And then Daniel Bryan tweeted back, I'm in. And that's kind of gotten the Office into it. And it would be interesting because...
Would it be something like skip the kind of build up and just be like, let those guys put on a good match?
That's kind of what it looks like. Because if Daniel Bryan loses at Fastlane, like, you can do one of two things. Like, you can either just have Ziggler come out and say, hey, just be like a shoot almost. Let's just put on the match of the night. Let's steal the show at WrestleMania. You and me, if there's two guys in the locker room that can do it, it's going to be us. And have a great match for the sake of having a great match.
Hey, reality era.
Exactly. Or you can do the thing where you turn Ziggler heel and then you make something out of it. But I think that right after the authority angle, I think it's too soon to turn Ziggler heel.
Yeah, I mean, maybe after Mania,
Yeah.
if he loses, and he could turn into a heel after that. And
Something
be
like that,
pissed
maybe.
off.
Yeah. And make it into a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the going in two faces, and it would be a really good match.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a dynamic that we haven't really seen much of, which I'm really big on. Which is what we got a lot in on this Raw episode. But after Raw was the Sit Down podcast with Stone Cold and Triple H.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah. If you guys haven't watched it, tune in. It was on the network, which was how much?
I think it was $9.99.
Oh,
sorry,
there you go.
Sorry.
Come on, man.
Sorry, tax, bro.
Yeah. So it was the second installment of the Stone Cold Network podcast. First one with Vince McMahon, which was incredible. This one I think was just as good. It really gave a lot of insight into kind of the behind the scenes world of what the WWE
and it
is.
didn't even sort of slowly go into it. The first question was, is Kayfabe dead?
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
Stone Cold just looks at me. Go on, tell me what's up. Kayfabe dead? What do you think?
Yeah, and what's great about these podcasts is that Stone Cold asks the questions he wants to ask.
Yeah.
There's no punches being pulled. And
he's always known, like, he always talks about people in the back, they know I'm a straight shooter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's like the perfect guy to ask all these questions.
Exactly. And I really like the fact that Triple H talked a lot about NXT, and it really, like, a light bulb clicked in my head of just, that's his world.
He wanted to make an alternate brand, kind of.
And he's done it.
His
Like,
exact words.
Like, every NXT show is great. Their pay-per-views that they have are amazing.
They'll be coming on the podcast for sure.
Yeah, there's going to be, I think it's on the 11th, there's going to be the next NXT TakeOver pay-per-view, and we'll do a full episode on that.
For sure.
Because there's always great stuff, and I'm really looking forward to seeing Kevin Owens up against my boy Sami Zayn.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be a great matchup. But we'll get to that. See, what's today's date? Today is the 4th, so maybe we'll get to that in
About
two
a week.
podcasts. Yeah. But going back to this, NXT's his world. He's kind of getting trial by fire to where he can learn on how to do this. For once Vince is gone, and it is going to be Triple H's company, he'll already know how to do everything.
Right.
Because he's done it on a smaller scale.
Right.
And as much as I love Vince McMahon and everything he's done, I'm more confident in what Triple H can do.
Right.
Because of seeing the NXT product, seeing how consistent it is.
How closer it is to pro wrestling than wrestling entertainment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you look at the matches, like it's nice because they have a 1 hour show format a week. So in that 1 hour, they pull out 3 to 4 great matches, couple small promos here and there, but they really pack that 1 hour.
Yeah.
And Triple H even talked about Raw being 3 hours, moving it back to 2, how he'd be in favor of that. Like you were talking about how you didn't DVR, or you don't have the ability to DVR.
I don't have DVR, and I don't want to sit through 3 hours.
It's tough. Like,
it's not that I don't want to, it's that I have
it's
no
tough,
time.
man.
No time, bro.
Yeah, like for me, it's easier because I DVR it. I don't even start, like Mondays, I know, okay, I'm going to come home and I'm going to watch Raw, but I'm not going to start it at 8 when it starts on my time. I usually start about 9:15 or so, so that way I can start to fast forward through stuff.
Right.
Because 3 hours that's a long time, man.
Yeah. Jeez.
And that's why some things kind of, not everything's gold.
Right.
With being 1 hour in NXT, you got pure gold.
Right.
And Triple H, he really hit that point home. Talked a little bit about CM Punk, not a whole lot.
He's a weird cat.
I mean, for me, CM Punk was what kind of brought me back to being a full-time wrestling fan.
Yeah.
But at the same time, now I'm somewhat over it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not missing him because I think there's a lot of great stars. I would if he ever came back, I would love it.
Yeah.
But I'm not still sitting here pining for him to be there.
Yeah.
So
it's time to move on, man.
Exactly.
He's happy. We got to be happy. We got to move on.
Come on, man.
Side note, Dolph Dolph needs to take off those like wrist things that look like
the straight edge.
Yeah, they look like CM Punk. Like he needs to take those off.
Dean has that going on too.
Is that a thing? Like
it's a
they're
thing.
in a club, they're supporting him. They're like, don't worry, man.
We got you.
We got you. He didn't have.
We're the real
friends.
locker room.
He didn't have any real friends in that biz.
But I mean, what was your kind of takeaways from the podcast?
It was just interesting to see. I think my favorite part was Triple H talking about NXT for sure.
Yeah.
Just because it was like you could tell how passionate he was about it and stuff like that. And I don't know. I liked how he was. Kayfabe's dead. I like them talking about that.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really interesting point of that right now you have, I mean, you're listening to this podcast right now, which means that you're probably the same kind of person like us. You read the dirt sheets, you check out Bleacher Report, you check out Grantland, which Triple H gave a shout out to Grantland on there.
Right.
And you know the behind the scenes stuff probably just as much as we do. Maybe some of you more.
Yeah, probably.
But he talked about how now is the era that they take that into consideration with the storylines. Right. It almost seems like now the big goal is how to make it a work on the smart fans.
Yeah.
And it's that's one of those things that blows my mind. It's like the Matrix.
How many layers are there,
Exactly. And this whole thing that's happening with the Daniel Bryan Roman Reigns feud is based on that. It's based on, hey, this is what the smart marks want. Now we're going to put a work on them. They do the little twist just to make it enough
to being like, oh, okay. Yeah,
it's like it's a wink to us, which I appreciate. I think Triple H is so underrated with a lot of things, but I think the way that he handles the internet wrestling community,
well, I mean,
I think it's great.
He's only in the position where he's at because he married Stephanie, right? No.
I think.
Just kidding.
I think that there's truth to that. Like he wouldn't be in the same position, but
like
I don't think
exact same position. But he'd still be behind the scenes too.
Yeah,
so.
I think that he would still be doing a top caliber job.
But you know what? You know what? We can't say because that's not what happened. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it is what it is, and
he's probably done more for the smart mark than anyone in a long time.
Oh
so
yeah, I mean,
good.
The McMahons, they're not really into that. Maybe Shane is. I don't know.
Dude, Shane's down.
Shane he's people power.
He needs to come back. I want to see him fight Sting WrestleMania.
I want to see Shane fight anybody. I want to see Shane fight Vince one more time.
Come on, one more match. One more match.
I am a huge
on the Jumbotron. Oh my God.
Hellfire and brimstone.
Oh, man.
I am a big proprietor of Shane. Anytime he wants to come back. Now I always say I'm not big on the legends coming back. Shane can come back anytime.
Well, he's more than a legend.
Yeah, he's above the law.
He's dynasty, bro.
So, I mean, the matchups are kind of laid out there. I think this was a very good episode of Raw.
Yeah, it was very... in terms of the wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
I think Stone Cold mentioned that, actually. In terms of the wrestling on this week's Raw, top-notch. I'd say almost every match was... excluding maybe the Divas and the Ascension match. The other ones were all just like at least B's.
I agree. I agree. I think that overall stories were told in the ring. This is the time of year. This is the playoffs for wrestling.
Right.
This is trying to see who gets to the WrestleMania stage because not everyone's going to be in there, but they're going to have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Oh, they are, yeah.
So they're going to have people that don't have storylines compete in that, but at the end of the day, you want a match.
Yeah.
You don't want to be part of the Battle Royal.
A gimmick, yeah.
Yeah, you want to have a storyline going in that means something.
That people are drawn to, that is drawing some big money. You want that support from the crowd. You want people to be like, I bought my ticket to see Bray Wyatt and The Undertaker or whatever,
Exactly. They have to have those WrestleMania moments.
That's right, baby.
So we'll end this podcast on that.
WrestleMania
moments. I mean, we got down to the wire. 2 and 99%, baby.
Tick-tock. That means it's close.
So that's going to be kind of the wrap-up for this show. Next week, we'll talk about Raw. Depending on when we get it out, maybe next week we'll have the review of the NXT pay-per-view.
Yeah.
If not, it'll be the one following that.
Yeah,
shortly.
We'll get on it for sure. We're going to have our promo of the week.
Yes.
And, you know, I already got some in mind, man. I don't know. This is going to be great.
Yeah, any suggestions you guys have on that, leave a comment. Shoot us an email.
Shoot us an email. Give us a comment. Give us a thumbs up, man. We want to hear from you guys.
Yeah, if you guys enjoy this, feel free to share it with some of your friends. Subscribe to it. We're trying to do this on a weekly basis. As long as you guys continue listening, continue liking it, we'll continue doing it.
That's right. We are men of the people.
You know it. All right, we will catch you next week, guys.
This is J-Dub.
And the Bass God.